The Stalker, interpreted by Jessica Lamb. Now, I am a case manager for a deaf service center, and I work with various deaf clients, advocating for them in different scenarios where they need help understanding paperwork or renting a house or whatnot. I had one regular client by the name of Bonnie who was experiencing a problem with her ex-husband who seemed to be stalking her around town. I helped her get in contact with the right people to file a restraining order against her ex-husband. We went to City Hall and I explained to them that my client was deaf and that her ex-husband seems to be stalking her, even though she is married to another man and lives with another man. He still seems to be pursuing her and following her around town. He shows up everywhere she goes. She sees his car drive around, sees him walking around, and she knows when she's out in the area that her husband seems to always be around all the time. And that is why she came to me for help, and that's why we contacted you to file a restraining order against this man. We educated her that if he shows up again and she sees him, that she can call 911 and have a copy of the restraining order to show the police. Unfortunately, he was a bright man and he would skirt around without being seen so that she could never call the police and pinpoint them to him. One day I was in my office, I got a telephone call saying that Bonnie was in an emergency and needed me right now. It seemed that her husband, or ex-husband, had actually gone into her home this time. So I called an interpreter and asked them to meet me at this location. We arrived at her home and the house was up in flames. And the fire department was already there trying to put the flames out. I found my client and went and consoled her and tried to find out what was going on. And she just said, I knew it was my ex-husband. I knew he was the one who did this. And it turns out she showed me where the perpetrator had entered at her son's bedroom window. And that was the origination of where the fire started, as the fire marshal had said. Even the bunk beds had melted down in the flames and the walls were charred black, molten from the fire. She was completely distraught. In addition, she had a dog that was in the place at the time who had snuck around trying to get away from the flames in the kitchen, but had inhaled too much smoke and was dead on the kitchen floor. A beautiful white dog. And she was so upset about that. Somebody had seen the dog and had called the Humane Society, and they had taken the dog over to their location. And Bonnie got the location of the Humane Society and explained to me what had happened, and I asked her if she wanted us to go over there. So she said yes, and we did go over to the Humane Society and identified the beautiful white dog. It didn't have any burns on it. It just had died from the smoke inhalation. They wrapped it back up, and the police officer asked if she wanted to file charges against the perpetrator. Yes, of course she did. The trouble is there was no evidence or no eyewitnesses that it was actually her ex-husband who did the crime. We didn't have any proof to file charges against him. It seems there was just no evidence to file a claim. No fingerprints. The place was wiped clean, which is quite unfortunate. It looks like that the man is not going to be caught.